SNX Radio invites you to unravel the mysteries of the cosmos with us as we dive into UFOs, cryptids, and everything otherworldly. As we navigate the night, we investigate the unknowns that spark our curiosity and challenge our understanding of reality.
Our guide in the vast expanse, it's where we reside. Hands up to the sky, let the bass ignite. Feel the groove surround us, everything's alright.
From the Combination X quest, the truth is our guide in the vast expanse. It's where we reside. Hands up to the sky, let the bass ignite. Feel the groove surround us, everything's alright. SNX Radio, let the truth ignite. Together we'll shine.
Let's explore the spots. Heavy bass drops with tight beats.
Illuminate the shadows, the echo of our call.
On this roller ring we'll never fall.
Feel the energy rising, can you sense the spark? As we dive deeper into the cosmic arc.
Stories of the universe, mysteries unfold. In the heart of SNX, where the truth is gold. Every note we play, every line we write, crafting our legacy, shining ever bright.
SNX Radio, let the truth ignite. Together we'll shine, bringing shadows to light. In this cosmic dance, we're connecting the dots.
Tune into the frequency, let's explore the spots. Here in the spotlight, we're taking our turn. With the fire in our hearts, let the passion burn. SNX Radio's call, ringing through the air. Together we rise, together we dare.
So join us now, let the rhythm flow. With SNX Radio, we're ready to go. Unraveling the mystery side by side. We stand hand in hand. In this dance of truth, let the story expand. mind. Take the leap, step into the night. With SNX radio we will ignite a symphony of strange where the bass drops low, journeying deep where the unknown flows. What lies beyond the veil of sight? What secrets kept from our human plight? Coley's conversation stirred the thread, an awakening call for the living and dead. Take the leap, step into the night. With SNX radio we will ignite a symphony of strange where the bass drops low, journeying deep where the unknown flows. As the echoes fade and the night draws near, the truths we seek become crystal clear. With SNX radio, keep your mind open wide, for in this journey we all confide.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of SNX Radio. I'm Coley, and tonight we got a very special guest. But before we go there, I've been seeing some people in chat I haven't seen in a little bit, so this is awesome. I just want to make sure that I got everything. Fractal, hey, thank you for being here and always showing up. MadPack777, always, and of course, and welcome Kurt W75. You guys, if you don't know Kurt, he does so much work behind the scenes, and it is his birthday today, and he is here celebrating it with us. So make sure you wish Kurt a happy birthday. That's awesome. Kitty Catty Whack, welcome back. I love that. It has a little thing. So, yeah, when you see the J. Michael show in there, that's our guest tonight. You guys are going to absolutely love him. If you didn't catch him, he was on when I was over. I do Tuesday night MK Invasion for Forever Entertainment. So we had him on there, and I was like, man. And I know Kurt was over there. I know MadPack777 was there. A few others. I think Kitty Catty Whack was there too. But yeah, so you guys know he's excellent. He's absolutely excellent. Fractal, hello. So yes, I just want to make sure Magneticus. I don't know what the deal is, Magneticus, but I sent that link to 5 other people and everybody got the right show except for you. So I don't know what the heck. Spider Bite, hey girl. Nice to see you. Welcome back. Yeah, it's awesome. You guys, I get so attached to you guys, and like when you don't see it for a little bit, I'm like, oh man, where are they? So anyway, yeah, if I missed you, I'll catch up. And for those to come. So thank you guys and all the wrenches out there. I appreciate each and every one of you. Just behind the scenes tomorrow night. I guess it would be tomorrow night. Aggie Noss at 5 p.m. And then on Saturday, we have Daryl Sims at 7. And then Stephen Bassett at 9. And then Carl Supp will be back on Sunday. And then you guys asked for him. So I contacted James Gillian, and he's going to be on Wednesday at 1 p.m. So I'll be posting the schedule here and there. So you guys will have it. But yeah, so we'll start with those. So definitely some fun stuff. So our guest tonight is absolutely wonderful. Like I said, I had the opportunity. He's got his own show. If you have not checked out his link, the link tree is in chat. He's also on YouTube. You can see that right there, the J. Michael Show. Definitely get over there, hit the subscribe button, and show him some love over there. So who is Jay? If you guys don't know J. Michael, he's a filmmaker, producer, writer, director, and editor specializing in documentary style content focused on unexplained. And I just kicked myself out in that one. So I got a little too excited. So he specializes in documentary style content focused on, the unexplained phenomenon, paranormal investigations, and conspiracy theories. He operates through his company JML Multimedia, where he produced a wide range of special interest videos, documentaries, and event videography since the late 1980s. Long that's his last name, so it's J. Michael Long, is a film festival award winner and has built a niche exploring topics like UFOs, Bigfoot, shadow people, and historical mysteries. His work often blends investigative journalism with speculative storytelling, appealing to audiences interested in the fringe and the supernatural. So it's like right up our alley with him. He's got so many, so many documentaries out. I believe he's at 30, but we're going to ask him on films and everything. He really is. He worked with people like Kelvin Parker. And I mean, if you like he's been out doing the boots to the ground work. So without further ado, let me bring Jay on because he probably does a better job telling you about himself. But Jay, welcome to
Hello,
yeah,
hello.
hello, welcome back. But
Hey,
you're just a little bit different of a yeah. So I was kind of I don't think I did it justice. You've done so much stuff. When
oh
I was
god.
looking through it, I was like, how in the world? I mean, how many documentaries and like how many together? Because I read that
Uh,
there was like 30.
if you look at somebody, a friend of mine recently actually went and counted them. If you look at my international movie database, it's over 70. But I think he said 73 or 74
I
titles.
saw that with all of it combined. I was like,
Yeah.
what how did you I mean, that's impressive. You had to have about worked with everybody in
Well,
that,
I've
you know?
I've been doing it since 2008. So yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Lot of it. And though I do what I do as JML Multimedia, most of it ends up on reality entertainment. So if you've ever seen any DVD or any YouTube video or even on Tubi and Netflix and other things, if it was done by reality entertainment, I probably did it.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. That is so amazing that I mean, and you're going out there chasing this down. It's not easy. Let me tell you, I'm not after them to make documentaries, but it's not easy to do all of this stuff. And you definitely have your hands in all sorts of it. And I guess through history, like in all the movies you've done, who do you think like was a couple of your most like fascinating like cases that you came across?
Well, I mean, I covered the Pascagoula UFO incident from 1973 because I too saw something that same night. And then in 2019, I did a documentary with, um, uh, well, Philomentel helped with it, but it was with Calvin, and Charlie, of course, had already passed away. But yeah, I worked on that. It's called Alien Contact, the Pascagoula UFO incident. You can find it on YouTube. It's actually, you can stream it for free, but I think it's also on Tubi and places like that. And then I've worked with Nick Pope on a couple of titles where another videographer filmed his part and sent it to me, and I edited and put it together. So Nick may or may not even know who I am, but I work with him on doing those programs. It's in the paperwork that I sent you, the titles of them. So.
Yeah, I know. There were
I've
so
done
many
so
of them.
much.
I don't think I ran out of room.
I know I can't keep up with them myself, so sometimes people will ask me and I'll go, yeah, I did that.
Do you have
Okay.
like a library at your house of all the documentaries you've done? And
I
like, are
used
you?
I used to have a DVD of everything until it got
Yeah,
so big I literally had to
you
just
couldn't. I
keep a
bet.
handful and throw the rest of them out. I have backups on hard drives, and things like that of files where I put it together and then sent it in. But no, I mean, I no longer keep all of them anymore. It would just be too much.
Yeah, no, I saw your list. I think it would. I was envisioning. I'm like, if I have to ask because if they are, there's got to be like a wall of DVDs with that. You've done so much work. What do you
There used
currently? You kind of stepped away from that, just focusing more on your show now, or you still got your hands in the
Oh no,
film
that's
part of it?
my full-time job as a documentary filmmaker and working on that. I just did something on see, here I am right in the middle of doing things. and didn't pay attention. What was it? It was the Nephilim. Yeah, it's a title about the Nephilim from the Bible, and which is a little weird for me because I'm not a Bible person, but I had to do a lot of research on that. And I've done one recently on, I'm just looking through files right now.
I saw that I don't
Anunnaki.
know a lot about I don't know a lot about that either. I never
Yeah,
got into that part of it. So and I know that there's a lot of people in chat that have followed that ancient part of it. Because I saw that your last one in the 2019, I hope that I got this right, was about decoding the scriptures.
I've done something on that. I'm not a expert in any way on that, but it
No, I
was
just thought that
looking
was
at different
fascinating.
Bible things, and I remember that I did do a title on that.
You two probably wonder what I'm talking about. I came at you
Yeah,
a few different times. I'm like,
I'm
what do you
like,
think of this? And you're
I
like,
saw I saw your graphic scriptures or something was in it, and I'm like, God, I hope he
yeah.
doesn't ask me anything about that because I
Oh,
don't
no. Oh my gosh. That is hilarious. No, that is funny
yeah,
because this is the second time you're like, "Well, that was way back." And when you think about it, like, okay, how could you forget? If you read the list that he's got going on, I think you could forget like a
yeah.
few of them. So I tried to find something more recent, but you
You
didn't
said
really
you
respond on that. I was like,
you
"Oh,
said you
maybe."
posted that link tree. There's a link on there to my international movie database. Just go look at it because I mean, and that's not actually not even everything. There's 73 there, but
Oh,
that's not
man.
everything. There's more that never got listed.
So, how did you get into this? Was it your sighting? The one that, because it was Calvin Parker, rest his soul, and then there was a third person I did not know. Had the opportunity of, interviewing Calvin before he passed,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, well, that was how my interest got started. In 73, I saw the same night, October 11th, I saw an orange ball of light float over our house. And it was really weird. It scared me. I was 12 years old at the time. And I got very interested in UFOs and have been ever since. As far as documentaries, that was 2008. I did a documentary called UFOs 1973, which went back to cover the entire world and everything people saw in the year 73, including the Pascagoula thing. And I won a film festival with it. And after winning that film festival and award, I was contacted by a company in California, an executive producer who asked me basically, would you do this for us? Would you keep making shows like this? And I
oh,
said,
wow.
sure, I can do that if it pays well. And that I actually didn't want to do it. I wasn't that interested in doing it. But again, I said, well, if it pays well, and they made me an offer I couldn't refuse. I was like, oh my God, I can make
See, you get
money
to
doing
do
this.
what you love to do, and,
Yeah,
but
yeah. So I was like, I guess I'm a documentary film producer now, and that's
Oh,
what
wow.
where it started doing
And
that.
then look at you now. So
Yeah.
that's
Being
awesome.
interviewed by Coley on the radio.
Yeah.
Wow, I've made it
Who would
now.
ever thought? Who would ever thought Jay would be here?
Yeah,
That's awesome. No, you're absolutely fantastic and so down to earth. And I encourage everybody. I have to go through. I started to do the dig through, and I'm like, man, I could get lost in this for
yeah,
months at a time because you've covered so much, which means I mean that's phenomenal right there
uh,
that you had that and did all that. But wow. I mean, that is cool. That is cool.
thank
And
you.
yeah, I sent you your thing and I was like making sure everything's right. And you're like, that makes me sound cool. I was like, because you are cool. I mean, look at all this you got going on. I mean, you're
Yeah, I
definitely.
was looking at your write-up, and I was like, "Oh my god, who's this guy?" Oh, yeah, she's talking about me.
I know. Yeah, it was so funny.
Uh,
I was like, no, that's hilarious. So what
oh,
did you
by the
think?
way, Kurt, happy birthday. It was Kurt,
Happy
right?
birthday, Kurt.
Yeah,
Yes.
happy
Kurt was
birthday,
he
Kurt.
does so much behind the scenes. He's gonna hop on. We're doing a Bigfoot show, and he likes the Bigfoot, so he's gonna hop on
Oh,
in
yeah.
front of the camera for the first time. I think be the first time, but
I can
hi,
go.
Ray. And we have Bigfoot Michigan Rob in the house too. Welcome. Grab you guys too before. I wanted to see if
I
make sure I
saw a
didn't miss any.
Bigfoot.
Yeah. Oh, did you see a Bigfoot? Well, why don't we start there? We've
Okay.
kind of been rolling on a Bigfoot. We had Daryl Denton and you know what we have who do we have in the yeah, let me think of it. Go ahead. Yeah.
Well, the first thing is if you want to see Bigfoot, you got to actually go to see. I mean, you got to go somewhere and get out in the woods. There are a lot of armchair Bigfooters who never go into the woods. And I've always been the type person that if I was interested in something, I will go and find out. I will take a trip, and see what I can learn about it. So in 2005, I think it was, I started going to a place in Louisiana called Monster Central. And it was run by the GCBRO, the Gulf Coast Bigfoot Research Organization. A bunch of cool guys. We would go out there and we'd go, camping basically, and we would have picnics and things, and they have meetings, where a bunch of us would get together and we would go out there to see if we could see something. And it was in an area that had a lot of activity. I mean, there were reports coming out of this place yearly, of course, and sometimes even monthly, so that's why it got the name Monster Central. Well, I had gone out there to hang out with some of the guys and was sitting on the back of a truck, and me and Rick Tullis were sitting there and we were talking to each other. And as the truck rounded a corner, we're on the back and we're facing behind the vehicle. As the vehicle turned a corner in this little cut through in the woods, it wasn't even a road. It was just where a vehicle had traveled through this area so much it had, there were ruts, for where the tires went. So anyway, as we turn this corner, this thing runs across the road behind the vehicle. And I'm looking over Rick's shoulder and I see it run across, and it runs at kind of an angle. It didn't run straight across. It ran at an angle across. It was on all fours, and it had this sort of unusual push-pull motion of how it moved. Even though I only saw it for like a second or so, my brain took in just the whole thing because it was so amazing to get to see something. And it had a rounded face, round. It didn't have a nose that stuck out very far. It was round. It was a somewhat conical, but not really a conical head. But its head was bent back like this because it was running on all fours and doing that push-pull motion. The thing that I found amazing about it, and it was the way, I don't know if I can explain this. I'm going to try to. Your wrist will only go back so far, right? Okay. Your feet are the same way. They'll only go back so far. This thing's foot could go back where this part touched the shin. Its back leg specifically, this part touched the shin. So when it put its feet down on the ground and it leaned forward into that push-pull motion, the back feet never bent up on their toes. It stayed flat. And the front hands stayed flat also. So it ran in this motion like this with its belly no more than an inch off the ground. And it just shot across this little cut through area with its feet remaining flat, its feet and its hands. And so it was just this weird kind of, hard to describe the way that it ran. Its hair was black. It looked wet because it was a full moon night that night. And as the moonlight shined on it, it glistened. So it was really weird. You know, it was a really weird thing to see. But I'm looking over his shoulder, and this thing runs across the cut through at this angle. So I actually got to see it quicker than if it had just jumped across the road. It ran at something of an angle. So I got to see 2 or 3 times that it did its feed that way. And I was just like, wow. But the weird thing about it is I didn't tell anybody because I thought to myself, no one is going to believe me when I describe this. They're looking for Bigfoot, this cross country skiing, Patterson looking thing.
That's so true too. Yes.
This is what they're expecting. And I saw something low to the ground. Its belly just an inch off the ground. I mean, it could have actually been dragging itself. And it just darted across there. Didn't have a tail, didn't have a snout, had its head back like that, but it was a rounded, human-like face. And it was not any indigenous animal that I could think of, if anything like that. So as far as I was concerned, it was Bigfoot. I didn't find out until later that they do run on all fours, that multiple people have seen them do that. In fact, a guy in Oklahoma that was also a member of the BRO, it wasn't until he mentioned his sighting, which was one doing the same thing, but it was running towards him instead of at an angle away. When he said that, I was like, oh my God, that's what I saw. That was it. It was a Bigfoot. It was a southern Bigfoot, but it was a Bigfoot. But we think of Bigfoot as upright always and running, like the.
I've heard that he does that. He drops low and
Yeah.
So that's a perfect explanation then for what was going on.
So I mean, I was like, until this guy he gave me validation.
Right.
He verified what I was thinking. I was thinking, oh my gosh, that really was one. So then I started talking about it, but I wouldn't talk about it before. I can tell you what I know if you DM me Ray. Okay.
Oh, on Stephen Greer. Sorry. Not you.
Okay. Yeah.
No, not
spider crawl. Yeah, I've heard that term. That's what they called it now. Only its arms were not out to its side like the spider crawl. It was tight in like this, doing this kind of thing. And so I don't know if that would be a spider crawl or not, but I have heard that term, and now I use that sometimes. That's what it was doing, only it wasn't spread out.
I think like a spider crawl. Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah.
I was trying to envision it too, and I was like, spider bites in our chat. You can chime in on
there are
spider
drawings
crawl.
of the spider crawl, and all the drawings I've seen, the arms are out to the side, like it ran like this,
Oh,
and
okay.
that's not what this did. It was like this, and it pushed and pulled, and it did it very quickly. I mean, gosh, this thing darted across that road, but it was just amazing. And I have a kind of what I call a semi sighting beyond that one that I saw in Mississippi, but I don't know if it was a sighting or not. I can tell you about that if you want to hear about it. But that was the one.
Yes.
That's the main one that I now know. Yeah, okay, that was a Bigfoot. That was a
Swamp Dog. He's in Daryl Denton. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him. He's in the chat too. He's big on and seen a ton of them. And then we have Bigfoot Machine Rob in there too. So yeah, keep going. Definitely. I'd love to hear their input and putting all the pieces together. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, swamp apes. What my grandfather used to call them. I have stories about that too. But do you guys think a bear walking upright on 2 legs can be confused with a Bigfoot? No, at least not what I saw. Because what I saw was lower to the ground than what a bear would do. A bear would walk like a dog or a horse or whatever.
Yeah. And you're talking about things are bending that aren't supposed to bend.
And it would be 1 foot in front of the other rather than this push-pull motion. So, I mean, that's what I saw. Ooh, I like your background.
Yeah, I switched it up to Bigfoot since we were going down that route. I didn't know that you had all the experience with Bigfoot either, but I guess with, 5 bazillion documentaries you've done, you've had to cover quite a few of, those topics too.
Well, again, if I'm interested in something, I try to go to see it. Swamp apes, yeah, that's what we called it growing up in Mississippi. But I was in Mississippi after that sighting, and down around Beaumont, there was a lot of sightings coming in. A lot of people were seeing something down there, and a group had started forming. There was about 30 people that would meet on Friday nights out in the on a road that literally the road separated the DeSoto National Forest on one side, and actually the DeSoto National Forest on one side, and the property that was owned by Shelby, Camp Shelby, was on the other side. So it was a military thing on one side and woods on the other side. And I had gone down there to meet up with a bunch of guys. Me and MK Davis and others used to hang out there sometimes, and we would just listen, into the woods because we would hear these calls. Lots of people had, seen it. I had interviewed or talked to a whole lot of people who had seen some really weird things. So I'd gone down there, and I got there a little early, and I parked my car on the side of the road. Eventually, this side of the road would fill up with like 30 vehicles, a whole
Oh, wow.
whole bunch of people. We would all meet up down there. I remember one night sitting there thinking to myself, somebody could bring in a hot dog stand or something and make a lot of money because there's a lot
Yeah.
of people here. And
Wow.
it was on Friday nights, and Friday nights after the football game, this area would just start filling up with cars. Well, I had got there early and it was still daylight. And I was standing next to my vehicle. And this is what's horrible. I had a digital camera in my hand, but I'm standing next to my car. I'd gotten out of the car and I looked out into the woods facing towards Camp Shelby, and I saw this silhouette of a head and shoulders in the foliage, kind of shadowy, standing there. And I thought, wow, that looks like it could be a Bigfoot. But I thought it was pareidolia. I was just seeing this shape based on the woods and the shadows and things like that. And I immediately convinced myself, my brain said that's pareidolia, that you're not seeing something actually standing there. So I ignored it, and I turned and I looked down the road. I turned around and looked across to where the DeSoto National Forest was, looked the other way, and when I turned back, it was gone. And I thought, okay. So I shifted. I started shifting one way or the other, trying to get things to align back up to the minute before where, I'd seen this shape, and I couldn't get anything to fit, So I walked around in front of the car and walked straight into the woods, going towards where I had seen this shape standing there. When I got there, there was a depression in the ground. So, but there was straw on the ground. And you couldn't see a footprint. You could just see that weight had pressed things down. And this was like a little open cavity in the foliage in the woods. And then off to one side was what looked like an animal, tunnel through the bushes that was there. And I thought, well, whatever it was could have dropped down and shot through that and gotten away from me. And I missed it. So I stood there. I looked back at my car. So I got an idea of what, if it was standing there, what it saw. And of course, it could have seen me clearly. And I looked around. I thought, well, this is an open area in the woods. It could have been standing here. And I kicked myself for not taking any digital pictures. I should have taken one before when I thought I saw something, and then after when it was gone, and I could have compared the two images and done a side by side comparison or an overlay and shown what was actually standing there. So I called it my kind of might have been a Bigfoot. I don't know if it was. Whatever it was, it's gone. Yeah, it was gone. But I just, I kicked myself for not taking a digital picture when I had a camera in my hand. And so I don't know what that was.
You think he would have let you take it though? I've heard that, like, even with UFOs, when I'd go out chase after them, it would like scramble almost.
Well, I don't know, but I
I'm trying
I
to help you
also
feel better about that moment, Jay.
I was looking towards Camp Shelby, and they do a lot of sniper training at Camp Shelby in Mississippi. Guys will put on ghillie suits. Sorry, I hit my mic. Guys will put on ghillie suits and go stay out in the woods for a week. They'll live off the land. They'll eat with whatever they brought with them. They carry their weapons. They have to stay literally invisible. That's their job. It's part of training. So I thought, maybe what I saw was a guy in a ghillie suit that here's this guy pulls up in a car, stops in the middle of nowhere out, between two areas of woods, got out of his car and started looking around. So maybe the guy thought, well, maybe he sees me, maybe I've been spotted. And so it could have been a guy in a ghillie suit. But a part of me says, logically, that makes sense, but I just don't feel like that's what it was. I think it might have been something standing there. Jay has time. I'd like to hear more about his studies on the net later. Okay, I just did a documentary on that. Heck, I could send you the script. You might like
Spiritual
it.
Ascension, she is so brilliant. She's in Australia. She's
Yeah.
absolutely wonderful. Yeah, she's amazing with some of the stuff. So I can, if there's links to get to the documentary, but I would love to hear more about it too and what you found.
Yeah, I would. It will be out probably in about 3 or 4 months if you want to wait for the show itself.
Well,
But
what do we
they'll
get
be
some
releasing
inside backs?
stream. Yeah, yeah. But I mean, I just literally shipped it off. What was it, yesterday? Day before yesterday, I mailed it on a thumb
Oh,
drive
we should have
to.
caught you before.
I
Then we
know.
could have gotten some.
Yeah, I still have it. I mean, I
Oh,
made a copy and sent it to my executive producer. Now, of course, it's copywritten to Reality Entertainment. I can't do anything with it officially.
mhm.
Unofficially, I could make a copy and
Oh,
get
see,
it.
that's what we're talking about, the unofficially
Yeah,
part of
like
it.
yeah,
Yeah,
put
yeah.
it under the door and don't tell anybody.
Like, just
You
right under
didn't see
sliding
this.
across, yeah.
I wasn't there. You
You
see
didn't see
nothing.
this,
You
yeah.
know
Oh, man.
nothing.
The old sneaky yeah, no, we can read between the lines here, that's good. Spiritual Ascension, you send me that email, and we're gonna get you hooked up here. But yeah,
Bigfoots aren't
that's
all animalistic. Some of them are wizards and live in pocket dimensions. Okay. I'll take your word for it. I actually think they're animals. I think that's what they are.
do you
They're
think some of them
undiscovered.
are the more and more that's coming out now, everybody used to kind of be along the lines of what AZAO or AZOAZ is doing, but the now there's like people are saying no, they think that they are more not a multi-dimensional but an animal. I'm like, well, maybe it's kind of like the government's version of them and the actual version of them. I mean, don't you wonder if there's not like, I mean, wasn't some of this wasn't created in a lab?
Oh yeah. Let me just put it to you this way. I think there are two things here. One is a paranormal being that steps through a portal and people see it. And the other is a flesh and blood animal. And I'm actually more interested in the flesh and blood animal. But I'm not saying that there isn't the other side. I think that there are two completely different things here. Just like I believe, this is me, just my opinion, but I believe the Pacific Northwest Sasquatch and the Southern Bigfoot is not the same thing. I think that what we have here in the South is very different than what they have because of what I've seen, because of the way I think that they run. I think what we have here is very different from the Pacific Northwest Sasquatch.
And you know what? That's crazy because Daryl Denton backs that up too. He was on and he was talking about how, and Carl Supp, he was saying in different locations how there's differences culturally, like with them and preferences. And, that to
Sure.
me is fascinating all on its own.
Yeah, I believe that the Mississippi swamp ape and the Florida skunk ape are probably very close related. They're similar, but they're not similar to Sasquatch. The Patterson Gimlin thing you see.
Mhm.
The Patty film, in my opinion, couldn't drop to all fours and do anything any more than we could. It's too humanoid. It's too much like a human being. Whereas these things in the South, yeah, they drop down and scoot. Very, very,
Yes.
very fast. And multiple people have seen them do that, which is, and the way that I saw the way its foot operated. Patty is more human or more human like and couldn't do that if it tried. No more so than I could. I'm sorry. I'm
Wow.
seeing
No, I'm
my
thinking,
head.
I'm digesting it all because you gave a lot of details here that, and I've, had a lot of different people on that have talked about this. But you gave some details that I'm just kind of putting, connecting the dots in my head because I'm
Sure.
like, this is fascinating.
Yeah.
No, Jason had mentioned in chat before, and I know, and I had this very bizarre experience. Have you heard of them that have like a clicking noise, like that make like it's almost like they have a like on the
As
roof
they
of their
do a
mouth
kind
over
of,
there. Yeah, like a
yeah. Yeah. I've heard they do that.
who do you know which one does it? Because I had an incident and it was so bizarre, but there's something, and I live out kind of in the middle of nowhere, but behind here, there's a window that the big screen is in front of, but there was something out there and it was like clicking the other night
Yeah.
and I was like, what the hell is this? And it was like it's done it a few times where I could feel something really weird. And there's been a few paranormal things that have gone on, like really strange things that have gone on. So then all of a sudden I smell this horrendous, like smell, like I
Yeah.
don't even know, like, but then it just goes away. I've never smelled anything like this before. And then I hear the clicking again. And I'm like, what
Yeah.
is this? And it probably did it, I would say on and off, maybe like 10 times. But the smell was just like something that would just like whomp
Yeah.
you in the face. And there was nothing in here. So I was like, oh, maybe that's what's going on out there.
One day, MK Davis and I, we were in a vehicle and we were headed to Polk, Arkansas. We were going to go and look at all of the different, famous places that were in the movie. And he had been there, so he knew where they were. We're driving along and we had slowed down because we saw something ahead of us in the headlights of the car run across. Probably was a deer, but because something ran across, he slowed down. The weird thing about that was that we had rolled the windows down. It was a hot day and didn't have air conditioning in his car. And we're literally crawling down the road. And we drove into this funk. And that is
Oh,
God, that is the only way I know
the
what you
smell? Is that what
mean.
you're talking about?
That smell
Oh,
is like wet dog,
oh yeah.
vomit,
Manure,
uh,
skunk manure,
something's
yeah.
dead. What you combine it
Yeah.
all together, and that's what you. And we
It's enough to
literally drove into it,
oh
and
god.
as we're like, oh my God, this is horrible. MK backs the car up. I mean, we backed up 3 feet, and we were out of it. Couldn't smell it. We both were. And he rolled the car forward and we could smell it. It was like a thickness in the air that was making our eyes water. And he did it again. He rolled back 4 or 5 feet. Couldn't smell it. Rolled forward again, rolled into it again. And then we rolled our windows up and drove on through it. And
That's
headed,
how much
headed
it would come and it go. It was like it was
yes,
so isolated.
yes, it
Okay, that's what you
stinks.
would okay. Yeah, I did.
It,
It
it is
did.
a serious
Because I thought, what
Thing.
is this? I'm gonna have there's a dead animal in my room or something. Like I don't know what this is, but it was just really bizarre. And at the time, there was nobody else up. It was like 1 in the morning,
Yeah,
and this
I
is
hear you.
yeah. The
I've
Swamp
smelled it.
Dog in the audience, he said, or in the chat said that he thinks that they click like that when they're excited, and I'm just wondering what kind
Yeah.
of excited he's talking about. But what if I'd
I've
gone to
not
that
heard
window?
I've not heard the clicking myself. I've heard them
Oh,
howl. I've heard the sounds that they make when they yell. But the clicking I've heard from multiple people who've told me they do that. They click. And
huh.
this idea, I know a lot of people are into Bigfoot, and I don't want to shatter any illusions. This idea that they pick up sticks and hit trees, never heard it. I don't know
Oh, the
that they
knocking.
actually do it. Yeah, what's called tree knocking. I don't know that that's real. I'm not saying it's not real, but I don't think it's that predominant, that they do this a lot. And I'm not sure if you hit a tree with a tree limb, you're communicating with it in any way it would understand. It may be just doing that out of frustration or something. M.K. Davis enhancements on the Patty films extraordinary. I show the skeletal muscles flexing and so forth. That I do believe was a flesh type being. He did a lot with that stuff. Believe it or not, a lot of the things that he did with those early animations of the Patterson film, I actually own them now. He left everything with me, and I've got discs of stuff that he originally did all of those things with. I think he did some afterwards that I don't own, but most of the early ones that he did, I own them. Why he gave them to me, I don't know, but he thought, that I would be the one to maintain it and take care of it. So I did.
Oh, see, Bigfoot Michigan Rob, look at this. Again, Jay produces. This is excellent. Rob has a great show over on YouTube. It's like it's over there on YouTube. I guess it's not like it's next door to here, but he has a great show. Yeah, he covers the topic. So that's awesome. Good to know.
Prometheus Lens podcast. Yeah, I would love to talk with them if they want to. It's true.
See,
Bigfoot.
Rob, we got you a guest here. You will not, yeah, Jay will not disappoint. Rob's great. He was just on the show not too long ago. Yeah. Oh, he's had MK. Oh, he had MK on many times.
Yeah, MK's a crazy guy. He's got stories too. Lots of stories. We went into the Honey Island swamp together, and you have to ask him about this. But we went in there, and I had my camera. I was making a documentary on. Hopefully, I was working on a documentary on the Honey Island swamp monster, and we actually found this guy that had this fake foot on a shoe that was making, or that someone had made impressions in the woods. And and what's crazy is that the guy that owned the shoe that was making the fake stuff was the guy from the In Search of shows, Harlan Ford, and he was the one taking the Bigfoot footprints. And if you go look at the cast that's in museums in Louisiana, it's in several museums down there, it fits that fake foot. I did a 10-point analysis where I showed 10 things that were in the fake footprint that also were in that cast. The middle finger, and it had a slight turn to it, the ridges and where they were, everything on it. I did a full video back in 2005 or 6, and we put that thing out there and pissed off a bunch of people in Louisiana because they were really trying to build the Honey Island swamp monster up as a tourist attraction, essentially make money off of it. And we came along and blew the doors off of it, and they didn't like that at all. So
I bet not. I bet
Uh,
not. Ray said in the chat, I've heard this before. James Gillian was just on not too long ago, and he was talking about it too. How he leaves jars of peanut butter out for Bigfoot, and
yeah,
they
I've
love
heard
it.
they like peanut butter.
You've heard that too, yeah. He said they're so good now that they will put the lid back on the peanut butter.
Really?
That's
Wow.
yeah, he swears by it. He's got I don't know if you've ever heard of the East Eddie Ranch, but he's got all sorts of things going on. Like they have crafts galore. It's just really in a cool
A
location in
friend of mine
Washington.
that went out there and something pushed against her car while she was sleeping at night.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
At
Miss
the
Sullivan.
ranch?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
there at the ranch. And so she was like, "Oh, you got to see this video," and she shot a video of her around the area and everything. And so
Oh,
yeah,
that's
and so that was kind of
cool.
crazy.
Yeah, I'm gonna plan it out to go. He's always said there's an open invitation, but I don't. Washington's I have to like kind of because it's kind of out of the. I'm in Iowa, and it's
Mhm.
just like I'll have to intentionally get to that area. But yeah, I heard it's beautiful there. Where are
I'm
some of
looking.
the locations that you've been at that you think are like some of the most extreme, like in some of your film documenting, like the paranormal or some of the cryptids or UFOs?
Oh, I am looking for something. I found it on Facebook. It's a little film that I made on the Honey Island Swamp Monster, but I don't know that it's going to actually let me link to it. Let me see. If I can get you guys a link. Oh, copy link. There we go. Okay. You guys will like this when our interview is over. I will just drop it in the chat here for you guys to have later. Chat, paste. It is on Facebook, and it's the little film that MK and I made about the Honey Island Swamp Monster and that fake footprint that we found. So you guys
That's
get a kick
awesome.
out of that. I put it in the chat. I don't know if it's going to show up over here, but I put it in the chat on YouTube. There's a link there, Facebook link. Anyway,
It
you
should
asked
pop
the
up then, and I'll pull it up as soon as I see it, but I
question.
don't.
Okay.
You posted it on Facebook, so it should
I-
be on the
yeah.
live?
Yeah.
I wonder why it didn't come through, unless there's a delay.
I
Yeah, if
don't
you
know.
guys see, it definitely did not. Did you hit enter?
Yeah. I see it actually crawling up the thing. So,
Oh, you do?
yeah.
Well, that's good to know that we can't see everything over here on this end. I was told on Facebook too that our comments weren't getting over here. So,
I put
man,
it in again just in case. Anyway, you guys hunt that down and find it, and you'll get a kick out of that little. It's only about 10 minutes long, but it shows the foot and everything and all the stuff we did. And like I say, we pissed off a lot of researchers who truly believed in the Honey Island Swamp Monster. It's like we said it on that little video. I'm not saying there's not a Honey Island Swamp Monster. I'm just saying that footprint ain't real.
right.
Yeah.
And so there's so much stuff out there too. What name are you using? Are you using your account on YouTube? I was going to pull it.
On YouTube, it's the J. Michael Show.
Is that what you would comment
Yeah.
as?
Yeah, that's what it commented as.
Because I don't see you on the YouTube comment. I'm over here too, looking too. Are you sure you're on the right show?
Yeah, let's see.
You
It
see
should be.
yourself on there? Do you see? Okay. I don't know. It's crazy. If you guys see the comment or you can get his that link, go ahead and drop it back in the chat and then I'll put it up there and that way everybody has it.
There's a
But that's really cool.
video of that showing up on YouTube. Oh, there we are. That's us. Yeah. Okay. Let me drop it in one more time. Yeah. You should see it. It's there now.
Okay.
But you guys will get a kick out of that because that.
Did you block me or something, Jay?
Ooh, no.
I can't see it.
No.
Can anybody else see this? Because I cannot. I'm not
Yeah,
even
if anybody
joking.
else sees it, copy it and paste
What
it.
is the name above that?
It just says the J. Michael Show, and then there's the link. And it's just
Who commented above you? What's the comment above that you have on there?
Somebody else just retweeted it or redid it. Kurt did. And the comment above is Echo 2000 KI. I had friends who went.
Oh, I see.
camping.
Okay. See,
They
you guys,
came
I don't
back.
see everything then. This is crazy. I wonder why I can't see everything on YouTube or on here. This is okay. He's got it. Yeah. Wow.
There it is. Yeah. Okay. There it is. It
What
showed
the
up on the
heck?
screen.
Because I could take a picture of this and then I see nothing. So I don't know what the deal is, but apparently this is how censorship works.
Yeah,
But
and
yeah,
that's
we
not the
got it
link.
now.
That is a YouTube link, not the Facebook link.
Okay, so let's see. Did you post? You saw that he reposted. Can anybody else see Jay's comments on? No,
Facebook.
they don't see it either.
Huh.
Jay, I
Okay.
think you're in the wrong show.
No, I'm looking at me on your show. Yeah. And I'm looking at the chat over to the right. And so anyhow, I don't know.
Oh
But,
man.
I don't know what that is. What does that?
Are you sure you're not? I'm gonna see if I get off here and I see comments that are on a different show. I'm gonna laugh my ass off on that one because
No.
I totally I believe you. I just what an interesting route. So, what are your thoughts on places like the Skinwalker Ranch? There was a guy McBurney. He thinks he's got the real ranch, that Bigelow, and he traces it back to Howard. It's a fascinating story. They found like kind of government equipment from NIDS that was there. They've uncovered a little bit of stuff, but he couldn't even. They had to stop work. They stopped the construction because it got so crazy and so intense. What's your take on some of that?
I I don't know that much about Skinwalker Ranch, but I'm fascinated with it. And I'm fascinated with the idea of skinwalkers, these creatures that are, especially from a Native American lore point of view. Um, I think that's just a fascinating thing for me as well. I'm going to Facebook where you and I have been sending things.
I think
I'm
we
gonna
figured it
pass.
out. Well, I didn't figure it out, but somebody in the chat just did, and I just lost it. I'm going to make you an admin because they said that if Jack Starseed said if you're not an ad or hold a wrench on there, that you cannot post links, I guess, in there. So I'm going to make you
Oh,
give you a wrench here real quick, and that way you can post your links.
okay.
But yeah, I didn't know that either. So thank you so much for putting there because we could have been there. So now I'm just looking for your comment before so I can add that on there. Or even if you just want to like drop like a letter in there or so you'll pop up at the bottom, I can get it really quickly because I'm going through all the comments now.
So do you
Trying to
see
find
me
you.
saying hi? Does
I,
that show up?
I hope so because if it doesn't, then yeah, there you go.
Okay. Now
Okay,
the
so
next
now
thing I'm gonna do is paste this link and shoot it. And maybe it just won't let links go through.
that's
Like
what
I
I'm
said.
wondering. Can you post it in the private chat here and then I can because I'm trying to make you. I
Yeah.
see what the problem is. I'm on it. Hold on a second here. Where's my dang phone? Oh crap! I thought I hung myself off. I'm gonna take care of it right now. It wouldn't let me do this, but I got to see I was out. I was in my personal account, not
I put
SNX.
it in the private chat.
I didn't know it was so hard to drop a link on. Yeah, did
No,
not
I
know.
understand that. It's like we were talking about Instagram. It won't let you do links either.
Uh, uh, oh yeah, you're right about that. Yeah, I remember you saying that. Now I get what you're talking about. Now I get it. Laura whispering portals. Have fun. Tell Carl Sup we said hello. She's in the chat. She was on last night. But Carl Sup, he's another Bigfoot guy, and
Okay.
he's gonna be in her area, so he was gonna swing by and say hello. But yeah, I'm pulling it up right now. So I guess you probably have found yourself in some predicaments, huh? I
Well,
bet you.
yeah,
Have you
when
ever
we
thought,
did
"Hey, I'm in over my head," or
that Honey Island Swamp video, literally the headline in every major newspaper was West Nile virus.
"Oh God"?
And here we were out
Dun,
in the
dun,
woods
dun.
getting eat up by mosquitoes. But
Oh
we were
man.
determined that we were going to go back there and we were going to find this spot that they mentioned on the show In Search Of, where Harlan Ford said that no human being had been back there for centuries. And we got back there. We literally found the spot. And there was like 6 or 7 families it's a swimming hole, and there were 6 or 7 families there, and we're like, "Oh, yeah, no human beings come back there at all," but they were coming in by boat, and we were laughing at that when we met the lady who is in the video and where the link is, and she told us about the
Really?
sky that had that footprint. So, we were like, "Oh my gosh." We found that we literally found evidence, physical evidence of this thing being fake. Yeah, it was funny.
I just made you a wrench mod, so you can go ahead and you can drop. You should be able to, if you accept it, you should be able to drop your link.
In the comments. Is
Yeah.
that what you're
So
saying?
you can see the link in the comments. Nobody else can see it until, I guess, because only moderators can drop links. I did not know that. I did not know
No,
that.
it's telling me I gotta connect to YouTube, and it
Huh.
won't let me connect to YouTube.
No, when you're actually what?
In YouTube?
Yeah, yes. You
Yeah,
should be, because I dropped it on the thing, so you should have it now. Your wrench.
okay.
I think you just have to.
Alright. Alright. Let's
Yeah,
see.
this is crazy, the censorship. I hear people saying Facebook. I know, I hear you on that too, for updates and family and friends. It is crazy, but there's so much of this information now. It's like you walk a fine line with some of this. You really do. I've had it used against me. Oh, guess what we have?
The link.
Bam, the
It
link.
worked that time.
I, for
Okay.
the life of me, was like, "What is going on?" Thank you,
You're
Jack
welcome.
Starseed. Again, thank you too, Jay. We could have been doing this all night. I'm like, I swear to you, you got to be commenting on another video. But I was not aware that if you were not a mod, you couldn't post your links. Yeah, there you go. That's
Yeah.
awesome. So yeah, Jay, thank you so much. We're gotta go check that out
You
too.
guys will
For
get a
sure.
kick out of that because we find this shoot. I mean, we show it in there and everything, and you'll just, after this is over, go watch it, and you'll probably laugh. You'll be like, "Oh my God, the Honey Island Swamp Monster ain't real." I'm not saying that the monster's not real. I'm saying that
Say that.
this evidence that they keep bringing up as to
Yes.
the existence of it is bullshit. I mean, it is. And we proved this a long time ago. That was back in, gosh, 2004 or 5 or 6 when we put that out. We pissed off some of the researchers in that area. 'Cause
Good for
they
you though.
definitely
We
wanted
need
to
more
believe it
people
was
like
real.
you, Jay. We
Yeah,
need it.
well, I mean, we weren't trying to debunk. We were going in there looking for evidence that this thing was real, and we filmed what we found, and that's what we put out.
Well, that's what the people need to hear, because I had that happen before, where I went out with the team and it was staged. It was clearly staged. And I said, if you don't think that I have seen this a bazillion times in this community, like, your stories are good enough. But when people take it, and it's like, I feel like everybody's got to be that one-upsman, and
Mhm.
then we lose the facts. We lose the reality of it. And like you said before too, so much of it, Hollywood has taken over. It's not like, I know I can't say for Bigfoot, I've not countered him face to face yet. I think that we're kind of getting there, but in a very roundabout way, and that's okay. But
Mhm.
so much of like the ET stuff, and people, what they're expecting to see for crafts, or what they're expecting to see, is not anywhere close to what you're going to see in the reality of it. And I think that's why so much of it can go unidentified, is because
Right.
of that reason.
Yeah. I agree with you. And but shows like this are also good because people can come here and they can show what they discovered, whatever.
Mhm.
And it what am I looking for? It's not just them saying, there's now eyewitness testimony. It's there. It
Yes.
becomes
Yes.
it becomes something you can scientifically um validate because
Yes.
you've got someone who's actually um seen something and they're telling you about it. And
That's very true. Yes. I
I
always think that I want to get
I
that
think that we
testimony on
need
there.
that validation. So shows like this, when you're watching Ancient Aliens or whatever, you're just getting them doctoring something up and
Mhm.
and
A
turning it
scripted
into
version.
whatever. They're turning it, and it's like what I do as a documentary filmmaker. I'm the first to admit, yes, we embellish with it's entertainment. That's what
Yeah.
you're buying. So you buy one of my shows, I have written it to be as exciting or interesting as possible, but I've also tried to stay as factual as possible. I don't make up stuff, and a lot of these shows they do. And so there's people who only look at documentaries on TV or something, and that's their only information about a subject like this. And you have to go to the source. You need to talk to the people who were there. And so I encourage people, go to conferences where someone's given a talk, go to conferences and hear them in person. And then if you can go backstage, if they'll let you, and always anybody that comes to a conference where I'm speaking, you pull me to the side and you ask a question, I'm going to answer it. I'm going to go out of my way to answer it. So that's what we need more of.
Yes, we do, Jay. Yes, we do. And you are too. You're so down to earth and like approachable. It's wonderful that people out there that are taking the lead on this, that they're doing that, because some of them, it's like you can't. Their ego. It's like you
Mhm.
need to pop that ego. That ego just needs. Because how are people learning? Then how are we getting this data? You're not. This isn't like a superstar, like whatever. This is like this is reality of the stuff that's going on in testimony, and just sharing that with the people.
Exactly.
But either that or they've gone under attacks before and they're just shut down. I'm one of the two, it seems like. But yeah,
Yeah,
that's
and
good that you're
I've
like
seen
that.
it too, where there's people that won't come back out and talk at all on anything. And you're like, man, who did that to you? Who made you so scared of the whole thing that you'll now just leave it? And it happens. But you gotta have a thick skin and come out and tell the truth, tell
Oh
your
yeah.
truth, and let people, let it land where it's gonna land.
If you don't have some thick skin going into this,
Oh yeah.
you won't make it out the other end alive, is all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
I can't even tell you some of the stuff. And it's like crazy, it's like for people, we were just talking about this last night a little bit. We touched on it. And somebody that I brought on the show, and oh boy, like the repercussions. But that's okay. That I'm okay with that. That's not the first time I've been under attack, let me tell you. I mean, but
Yeah.
they do. It's like, man, if these like they lived in your city around you, there'd be like no contact orders on them. How are they getting by doing this online? It's like everybody should have the right to information, and then you decide what that information with that information, and do your own research. But you shouldn't. If somebody's trying just to shut something down just because it's a person and everything's a lie from that point on out, I said that's what's dangerous.
Yes.
That's what's dangerous.
And I see this in politics too. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
they people won't look at news depending on where it came from. They'll look at the source. They'll say, well, that came from the right, so I don't believe it, or that came from the left, so I don't believe
Right.
it. And what media, if the this is what I like to say, because I was in radio for years. If a journalist was there and is reporting on what they saw, then take it as what they saw. They're not lying to you. They're telling you what they saw. And that's what a journalist is supposed to do. The journalist's job is not to explain to you about rain. The
Right.
journalist's job is to go to the window and tell you if it's freaking raining or not. Yeah.
That's so true. When I was a mental health therapist, I used to say this all the time. There's certain criteria where I'd have to call and report it to DHS, the Department of Human Services. So the people would get mad at me, and I said, that's not my job to decide if this case is anything. That is the investigators. My job is only and simply just to report the information. And if
Exactly.
it's concerning enough, I have to do that. Ethically, I had to do that. So it's not. I'm not there to. That's their job. So it's just like, if you're not getting that information, or that information, you're literally putting roadblocks in the way, so people can't get that information, and they can come to their own conclusions. And they get the more minds working on it, the more research that's going in on it, I think the better we are.
And people need to understand critical thinking too. You can't just believe everything because someone said it on a show or a podcast or even on the news or whatever. Go look for the real video. The show me the video, show me the audio, play it for me. And if all you have is someone's word about something, you really don't have anything. But the other side of that coin is at least there was someone there that saw it that's reporting on it. So you have to take what someone tells you and what someone shows you as two different things.
Yes.
Oh, you have a
Right.
light on your microphone. That is pretty. I don't have one.
I don't know. I always wondered if it's distracting or if because you can't turn it off. That's the only thing I can't figure out how to turn it off. I mean, I'm sure there's a way, but
Uh-huh.
it's so complicated. I have to run it through a program of its own. So I was like, at
Well,
least
you're
I got
very
it where it's
dark. You're
changed.
very dark. I'm all lit up. You're dark, so it's good because it puts a little light on your face, and it's good
You're
to
not
have
the
you.
only. Chat's gonna start going on here. I was like, you can't. Yeah, telling me I'm always hiding in the shadows, and I
You're
said,
in the
what I'm trying to not take away from the guest.
scared to come out and play with big
Look
toys, huh?
at Jay's calling it all right out on the carpet. Good for you. I would do the same thing. Now, tonight, I actually kicked up the light a couple notches. You should have said something to me when I was playing with it earlier. See, we're gonna go up 2 more light ring notches. But what I really was trying to do is behind me, I bought a huge big screen TV so I could put the banners behind. I thought that would be
Mhm.
more nice, and let me tell you, at first it was so hard to get the lighting right. It was like, it was like it looked like it was just glowing. So then I had to go through on a step by step, and so I just didn't want to take away from your lovely thumbnail that
Oh, it
that
says my
is, yeah.
name on it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. In
Ooh,
your picture, I think I'm blocking your picture, but your picture's
my
right over
name is
there
up in
too.
like,
Yeah.
oh, I see me with my glasses on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. There
yeah.
you go. There you
I
go.
have a neon sign for my show back
I
here.
saw that. I was gonna ask you about that. I love neon
You
signs.
love
I
the
don't know what
neon
to do.
sign?
I want one. Yeah.
Well,
Where'd you get that?
I found a place through, I want to say Amazon.
Oh,
But it was
yeah?
about $300, but they had to custom design it. I sent them what I wanted, and they kept coming back with, "We can't make it that small." And I'm like, "Well, okay, you're not gonna get my business." And they were like,
Well, how
"Okay,
big do
we'll
they
figure
want
out a
you
way to make it small." Yeah,
to
smaller, and they
Yeah,
did.
they wanted to sell you the big, well, I mean, I
Yeah,
don't know how big of a sign that would have been, but man.
yeah, they were saying that, "Oh, yeah, it's gonna be like 3 feet by 4 feet or whatever." And I'm like, "No, that won't fit on camera. That won't work," you know? So I was explaining to them, "No, it has to be this size." And they finally got down to that size and worked. Still costs the same amount though as something
They
bigger.
charge you the same amount? Well, those scoundrels, you should taken the bigger one then. I thought it was
No.
like a
Well, the bigger one would have been too big. I mean, it needs to sit on camera a certain, image and area. And then I was, of course, sitting next to it. So it's me and the neon thing when you look at the show. And there was very limited amount of space that it could.
I like that. I almost used that, picture, but I saw it and I was like, "That's really cool. I wonder where he got that at." I was gonna ask you, so I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, I just go through Amazon. I think there was a place on there that they'll make custom neon signs for you.
We need some custom neon signs.
Ah,
S So
okay.
I love neon signs. I could go all day
Mhm.
long. My son always gives me crap about it. He's like, when I'm doing my thumbnails, he's like, "You have to, you know, like," and I said, "They look so plain, Brody." And he's like, "No," like he's trying to give me tips on how his generation thinks. And I said, "Your generation makes up definitions for
Yeah.
words. So I don't at this point what care, but it's so funny because he was like the one that really pushed me to get going in this, and he won't come anywhere near the camera, not at all. He's like, no. I'm like, oh,
Mhm.
Brody, you big chicken. But yeah, the
That's
kids are so funny. So in your ET and your UFO, I mean, like you have a phenomenal history that kind of pulled you into this whole world. Have
Mhm.
you ever had contact with ET?
I don't know. I talked to you a little bit about this on the other show that we did. Back when I was like 29 years old. I was asleep at night. I was asleep one night, and I woke up for just a few seconds. I woke up, and crawling into my bedroom was this thing. I'll
Mhm.
describe it in a moment. But as it crawled in and it looked at me, I had literally just opened my eyes. And as I opened my eyes, I saw it. I didn't get scared. I didn't jump out of the bed. I normally would have tried to beat it to death, but
Right?
I just opened my eyes,
Good.
and there it was. And it turned and looked at me. And when it looked at me, I thought in my head, my own voice, I thought, I don't want to be awake for this. And I closed my eyes and I went back to sleep. What happened after that? I have
Ooh.
no idea.
Were
But
you
I described
instantly
it.
out, or was it like
It was like a gray, but its arms and legs were like grasshoppers. It's
oh, you
like,
saw
you know how the
mantis?
back legs on a grasshopper are
Yeah,
V
the praying
shaped and
mantis.
the front arms were V. And so its arms and legs were like that.
Oh,
And that
man,
was
Polly
probably
Waterman,
a
she always
million
is asking about the manths. That's what you think it probably was, one of the praying mantis?
years.
Is that
As
what it
far as the face, it didn't look like a mantis. It looked kind of like a gray, only without big predominant eyes.
but
The eyes were smaller,
but the
but
body of it was like, gray maybe they're
if
crossbreeding.
you've ever seen the movie Fire in the Sky,
Yeah.
the way that the special effects guys depicted the aliens on that is the way they looked. And this was, before that movie came out. So, but that
Oh,
the face
we
and
did
all or
talk
whatever
about this, now that I
was
think
kind of
about
like,
it.
yeah. And it
Okay,
had
yeah.
this arms and legs. I can't do it, but they were like V shaped. They were like grasshopper.
Okay.
And yeah. And so this thing's crawling. The whole thing lasted 20 seconds at most. So I'm asleep and I open my eyes and this thing is crawling into the bedroom and it
Oh.
turned real quick and looked at me. And the moment it made eye contact, I thought to myself, I don't want to be awake for this. And I closed my eyes and went back to sleep.
What I'm seeing looks like the guy that I can't think of what the guy with all the pins in his face. I'm gonna pull up a picture of this because I remember now after you saying that, looking it up, and I thought, is this what he's talking about? Because I'll pull it up here real quick and share my screen. Because I was like, oh, now if I saw something like this, I don't know what I would do, but let me see here.
You're pulling something up.
Here we go. Yeah, I was gonna pull up what you're from Fire in the Sky. The
Mr. J has a
this guy
question.
right here.
Yeah. That's kind of what the face looked like. Only the eyes might have been a little bigger and a little more slanted, but they weren't huge. They weren't like the grays. And yeah, and it just turned and looked at me. And the moment that it looked at me,
Oh,
I remember literally saying to myself, I don't want to be awake for this. And I went back to sleep. And I was fully awake. I didn't dream it.
oh
And it was
man.
after that I, had told you about the thing with the I found something between my fingers that itched, and I wondered what it was and tried
Yes.
to pick it
Okay.
out there, and it kept
Yes.
going up in deeper. And then I found one on my chest too that kind of looked like a domino. It was two dots across the top and three down the side, and that was weird. That
Oh.
shows up every now and then.
So you had
But
some
this one's here
markings
right now.
too. Yeah.
Anyone who was you
Can you?
can I see it. I mean, I see it right now through the skin. Oh, you see that little blue dot in between my fingers? If you can see that,
Yeah.
that's the thing that was
Yeah. Yeah.
been there since I was
Oh
29
wow.
years old.
You're the second person to show me one. Laura, that's in the chat, had one in her hand. You could see it visibly up, like, no, I had one in my wrist. I think it was anyway. And I remember I was pushing. I was like, "What in the hell is this?" And it shot up my arm. And I was like,
Yeah,
what the
this
hell
thing, when
happened
I
to
went
this?"
after it with a pin, I took a pin trying to pick it out, and then tweezers. And the more I tried to get to it, the further it kept getting into my uh, hand where
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
couldn't get to it. So I quit, I finally just gave up, Um,
Oh, yeah. Is this the guy
yeah,
you're talking about?
yeah, that's very close. The
That
smashed
he
in
had the
nose, the
Ooh,
slit for a mouth, the eyes, but a little bigger, but they were more like Chinese,
right.
Oriental. And you remember in the movie, it kind of went like bobbed its head. It
Yeah.
sort of did that, yeah. So whoever did the special effects for that movie, that was pretty accurate. Only theirs were standing up, but this thing was
Mm.
down, with its elbows up, his knees up in the air, in the V shape, like a grasshopper.
Oh,
And when
Rob
it
Ball
turned
was
it,
in the chat earlier, and
it
he's
had a
Travis
thin neck.
Waldman goes around with them. We could ask him. Have you
Yeah,
ever talked to Travis about it?
no, no, I have
That'd
met
be
Travis, but
interesting.
I didn't talk to him about that.
Yeah,
But
I'm
it
just
turned its head around and it looked at me, and the moment it looked at me, I thought, I don't want to be awake for this. I don't know
I
if
don't
it
blame
was
you.
projecting that to me or what, but be that as it may, I closed my eyes and went back to sleep. And so I have no idea. I've had people, tell me that
I don't know how you could close if I saw something like that,
I
it looks
know
like
I was
Hellraisers without
afraid.
the needles in it.
I would have normally, it's something like that. I'd have got up out of that bed grabbed a lamp, or something. But I didn't. I didn't care.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Take a
I
swing
didn't
at
care
that thing.
about anything. I went back to sleep.
That looks like it
Uh,
came out of a government lab. That doesn't I
I
don't
know
even know what to say about that thing. That thing did not did it look nice when it was at least in your,
it didn't
like,
have an
room?
expression,
Huh?
or it just. I mean, it seemed startled. It seemed
I
like it
bet.
when it turned its head around. It was startled that I was awake. That it was like you're not supposed to be
Mm.
awake, and it didn't
Ooh.
like that I was awake, but it didn't really have an impression. Daryl
It doesn't
Sims, who
look like
you
it would
said is
like a
gonna
lot
be
of
your
things.
guest, you said
Oh, yeah,
Daryl Sims,
Daryl. Mhm.
yeah, he ran some equipment over my hand, found nothing, but still, it was neat to get him to look at it because that was the first time
Oh,
I'd had
yeah, yeah.
I had anyone actually look at this as to see what it possibly could be, and he didn't say it wasn't. He just there wasn't.
We
He
wonder
didn't
too,
come off
different
as mature.
technology. I wonder what he was I'll have to ask him about it. He's on Saturday, so he'll be on
Yeah,
Saturday at 7.
he has things that looks for like magnetism or if there's any RF coming off of it or things like that. And that's what he did. He swept several pieces of his equipment he keeps with him across
Mm.
it and found nothing. But I was just proud that he did it. I was so
Yeah,
happy.
that's cool.
Done
That's awesome. That is awesome. Yeah,
Yeah,
who has that
somebody.
story with Daryl? And you know what? I said I would love to get, and he's kind of apprehensive about going on different shows, and so but I was talking to him, and it's sad that that's how we've gotten where people have attacked him over stuff, or people, he's like they're not out for my story anymore. They're out for these clickbait or the channel, and I was like, that's not what I'm about, or whatever. But um it's too bad that so much of this has been exploited like that where
Yeah,
people are more
he's a
cautious
great
about it.
researcher and he's
Mhm.
very, very knowledgeable. He puts on he puts on a great presentation at conferences too. I really respect him. I have a lot of respect for him and think the world of him now that I've met him. But
Yeah, where did you meet him at?
Jefferson, Texas, we were both
Jefferson,
speaking at a
That's tell him.
conference there. Yeah, yeah, great guy,
Oh,
wonderful
okay.
guy. In
Oh,
fact,
yeah, I'll
when
have to
you
tell him.
interview him, if I get the link, I'm going to watch it live because I'm going to watch him when you talk to him.
Would you
He's a
like to
great
get
guy.
on and surprise him and say hello
I could
towards the
do that.
end?
Maybe that's up to you.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
it'll be a surprise. Yeah, I think that'd be cool. So
that-
hopefully he's not watching, so it won't blow the surprise and everybody, But yeah, I'll bring you on. I'll give you a link and you can jump on it then. I think that would be really awesome.
yeah. I'll jump on for a minute, say hi. Yeah,
Yeah, do that.
yeah.
Do that. I'll
But
send
he's
you for
wonderful.
Saturday.
He's a wonderful guy. He's so easy to approach and talk to. I mean, I'm literally describing some of this stuff to him and almost in tears because I'd never been able to talk with anybody like that, a researcher about it. And so I, I haven't been talking about it on podcast until after I talked with him, and
Yeah.
talked about it at the conference. It was just not something I would ever go there because I thought people would think I was crazy.
It's a taboo topic. It really is, because
Yeah.
it's kind of it's cringy for me to think that there could be something in my body that but I guess we're consuming weird stuff every single day in our food. But still, it's just there's that element of do I want to know? Do I really want to know? There's a lot of different things. And then people, oh, it is, oh God, here goes the crazy people again. Like that stuff too. So you just kind of like that would be an emotional basket, to say the
Yeah.
least, I think, in a lot of ways.
Well, that was the thing about Daryl also, is that Daryl can kind of put you at ease. Obviously
Mhm.
he's talked to a lot of people who have had, alien
Yeah,
abduction
he is. Yeah, I could get
encounters.
that on him. Yeah.
Oh, he exudes a certain professionalism. And so when you're talking to him, it's almost like, when you go to talk to your doctor about some medical issue, he's a doctor, he understands. So he's not going to laugh at you if you say, well, it hurts when I do this, he's
Mhm.
going to say, oh, well, the reason why is you have certain nerves, blah, 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 there. So Daryl's like that. He's like, you start explaining these things to him, and he's like looking at you, and then he'll say something that you're like, oh my God, A, I never thought of that, but B, you're right. And you've obviously know what you're talking about. So he's a wonderful guy.
Yeah. Well, do you
That's
want to
all.
you're welcome to do the interview if you want to
Yeah,
stream it
I
on
can
your
jump
channel.
on here. If you let me know, just let
No,
me
no,
know.
I'm saying if you want to, I know you don't usually stream, but if you want to stream it to your channel, or you want it just to be a part of the interview, you can.
Oh, you
I've done
can
that
just
before.
guest me and
Oh,
put
okay.
me on or whatever. And
Sure. Well, I
yeah,
thought I'd throw it out there in case you wanted to or not, but
yeah,
it's always an option, but I'll definitely get you a link so you can hop in there on the end. But yeah, that'd be
yeah,
awesome. I think that'd
yeah.
be cool for him too. And then it's really validating to hear somebody go through it's not just him talking about, and if you guys don't know who Daryl is, he's probably, I think, one of the first documented cases of implants. And I'm not exactly sure how many he's
He has
had, but
photos. He has everything. I mean, he has data. I mean,
oh yeah.
serious
Yeah.
data. And I mean, it's not BS. I mean, it's not just somebody claiming this
No,
or
no,
that.
this is his life. Yeah.
And he's written multiple books on it, and he shows in his books the data and the photos he has. So
You kind of remind me of him when I was doing, because do you know that Daryl was initially, I thought I had
it's the
switched the
cowboy.
dates around. So he was it was not even just that. Now that I think about it, he was going to come in on or he was going to be Thursday. So you guys were actually double booked, but then I switched him over to Saturday. And I
Ah,
was like, yeah, so it actually, you guys, that's a really strange coincidence, because not a
well,
lot of people have had the opportunity to come in contact with Daryl and have these conversations with him. I mean, he's extraordinary, but I know that too. I think he's kind of like done it for so many years. It's kind of like I don't know. I can imagine he's probably getting tired too, like some people. But normal people get tired when doing stuff. But yeah, that's cool. That's absolutely fascinating
we're
information.
both Texans and we wear cowboy hats.
See, it's a Texan thing. Oh,
It's
Max
a
Pack
Texan.
777. He's a Texan too in the chat.
Yeah, it's the cowboy hats. It's because we're cool. That's why.
Yeah. Well, I said Iowa. Now, Iowa, that somebody mentioned before in the comments, where is it? Like, don't worry about where it is. Like, that's no need. But, here it's like we have the cowboy boots and the hats. Like, I definitely have a sport a pair from time to time. I mean, but not like you guys do down there. You guys have the big, what is it, the 10-gallon hats or
Oh,
the,
yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
everybody, yeah, they like your,
12
they
ounce.
like your hat. Yeah, Mad Packs, you got one of those like Jay does here and Daryl? We'd like to see pictures if you
Yeah.
do. But yeah, no, that's and I said that too. I think that's the Southern hospitality. That's probably Daryl. I can see now the same thing. I said I love people from down south. You guys are always so welcoming, and it's not just like hi bye. It's how are you do? It's just always that good feeling. So
Well, one thing also Daryl told me, and I didn't do this, but I wish I had, he was explaining you can go to a chiropractor and have them do an x-ray, which is cheaper than going to a doctor and have
Okay.
them do an x-ray. And he had asked me, he said, if you can, go to a chiropractor and have them x-ray your hand and your chest, and then send me copies of the x-ray, which unfortunately I never did. I've been to a chiropractor, but he doesn't have an x-ray machine. But it's one of
You're like
those
going
things that I
back in
want to do.
time. The
Yeah, I
X-ray.
want to do, and I want to find out what that is, because he was curious as to what it is, but it's like organic. It's not metal. He checked it with that, like a metal detector kind of thing, and whether it was emitting these signals or whatever. It may be dead and it's just still sitting in my hand. But he was, I mean, he went over it with several things, and
That's interesting. What if they get activated? I wonder
yeah,
if
I know. I mean, that's what I was like. I was honestly, I was terrified. I was like, oh my God, he's going to find something. Or
I would have
he's
been
gonna,
scared too. That's a
or
whole
he's gonna
mental, yeah.
validate that. Oh yeah, you definitely have an implant because it's reading this or blah blah. And I was like, oh my God, now here it comes. I'm gonna find out. And I was actually kind of in an odd way glad that it didn't show anything, because it was scary. It was scary to think that
Mhm.
that thing might be active. That thing might be emitting a signal or something, and it's in my skin, and there's no getting it out of there. Just going to sleep that night, I was like, well, at least I know it's not doing anything.
Yeah, it's not activated yet.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah.
good point, though. I wonder if that's part of it too. Maybe it's not like
But after he did all of that, and I didn't even tell him this, but after he did all of that and he determined nothing, for 25-30 minutes after that, it itched. It was weird how I was like, "Why is it itching?"
Oh.
And it's itching. Like it I know, like it knew
Yeah.
that someone was looking at
What
it.
if it's smart enough when it comes near one of these meters now? Maybe yours is like the upgraded version where they shut I mean, this one surprised me. If to
I
think that
know.
technology like this would not we gotta find out what's in there. We gotta find out
Yeah.
what's in there.
Eugh.
How we activate
Yeah,
it.
I'm getting chills now just thinking
We'll
about
have
it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
maybe if
but
you
I
try
mean,
with a
it's weird.
tinfoil hat on, out in the rain, maybe we can get this thing activated. Just a little small electrical currents once in a while, Jay,
I don't know
nothing
if I
big
want
or
it
anything like
activated. Like,
that.
it's like, people tell me, now that I've been talking about it, they're like, "You ought to go get hypnotized." I'm like, "No, I don't wanna know.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't want to know I don't wanna know what happened that night." If I remembered anything. I went to
I
sleep.
don't know either. A part of me says, "Duh, why would you not wanna know you're doing
Yeah.
this?" But there's some things in this whole thing, especially the markings that
Mhm.
really I don't I'll talk about it, but it's cringy. It's
I
very
know,
cringy.
yeah, you're thinking, what if it were validated? What if it were
Yeah.
verified that there was something happened? Then I got one more extra thing to worry about. I got too many worries in the
Yeah.
world like it is now. So I
Yeah,
don't
and then
wanna.
where do you go and have it taken out? Because there was the guy that was doing the implants, and he was so connected. There's oh gosh, I could go into
And he
stories about
passed
him, but
away, yeah.
yeah, but how they
Mhm.
found him, I was a little apprehensive
Yeah.
about. I can't even think of his name right now off the top of my head. But
I
yeah,
can't.
so I wonder who he's going through now. And oh gosh, well, I'll have to ask Daryl all this stuff. I'm fascinated with it, and I'm just glad like that mine, whatever it was, is gone, and hopefully
Uh-huh.
it just doesn't creep its way back down. And because I would be like you, Jay, I'm not sure I would want to even know at that point. Like, and then
Well,
what are they doing? Tracking you,
every yeah,
or I don't
every
know.
now and then, this thing on my chest will start itching, and I'll go up, take the shirt off, go up to the mirror in the bathroom and separate the hair out of the way and go, "Oh, there it is. It shows up again." And it's 2 dots across the top, 3 down the side, and it's micro. It's very, very tiny,
Like
but
the little scoop
yeah,
marks.
yeah, yeah, it's like micro, it's small. And I'm like, "Okay." And then after a week or so, I'll go back and check. It's gone. It's not there anymore. But this has been there consistent for
Have you?
since
Wow.
I was 29.
I had one on my abdomen that looked like that. All of mine were on my right side, but the weirdest one, I showed it last night, a picture of it. It was on my leg. It was on like on my upper calf or whatever. And or excuse me, on my thigh, but like my son, I remember I got up and I was walking around. And he's like, "What's on your leg?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" So I went to the mirror and I looked at it, and it looked like, I mean, it looked like I sat down on an iron. Is really what it looked like. But it was
Yeah.
in a chart. I had drawn this. I knew that I had drawn this like 6 months prior in my scattered madman notebooks that I used to take notes on. And I went and I found it matched right up to my leg. And I was like, okay, we're packing up and we're going. We went to a hotel for like 3 or 4 days. Not sure why I thought that was going to help, but it spooked me to the point where I was like, well, what the hell is this? What is this? What's going on here? Is this validation? Like, why is there a star map on my leg? I mean, it's not even deniable about what it was. And it matched up to my drawing. And I was like, what, some of that part of it, I
Yeah.
don't digest necessarily really well. I know there's a trade-off. I look past that part. But if I
Yeah.
had to say there was really uncomfortable moments in this, those would be it.
You're
Definitely.
saying it was on the back of your leg, so you
Yeah.
couldn't have seen it and drawn it.
No, I'll pull it up.
You
Yeah,
had
my
drew your
son saw it
star map before.
before. Yeah. So I drew
Yeah.
it, I think December of 2018 would have been when I drew. And then it was July of 2019 when I found it on my leg, or my son found it. And then I went and I was like, whoa, what's going on? What is this? It's just like, it was insane. And I was like, and I've had a couple of them markings. One time I had one under my eye that was really bizarre, and they heal differently. Like, I don't know if yours, I mean, it seemed like it was like a rapid healing on them, but there's nothing normal about them is really what I feel like. I mean, you
Wow.
correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, normal here, but I don't understand the whole point of the markings.
Yeah.
Do you? Have you come
No.
across?
No, I don't understand it either. And it's odd about yours because you thought of it, you
Mhm.
drew it, and then it shows up on
Oh,
your leg.
yeah. Yeah.
So it's like,
Right.
you psychically produce it on your leg.
No, I think
Did
that's
they
why I'm
read
wondering.
line, so to speak, or no, and then they put it there,
I thought maybe it was that. That's what I attributed it to too. I thought, well, maybe this is validation. Maybe it's like they're like, oh, whatever validation, like drawing me back. Because there's times where you kind of go through stuff and you're like, is this
Mhm.
really happening? You kind of check your sanity. I was a mental health therapist, outpatient. So when I first started these experiences, I was writing my stuff down on clinical notes for myself. And I was like, well, I'm going to find a reasonable explanation for all of this before I even jump down. And I literally, the majority of all my notes in the beginning are on my clinical notes I would have taken for clients. I didn't know. I thought, well, man, if I'm having some sort of breakdown here, I want to know. Whatever this is, I want to know. And that's
Is
kind of where I was at with it. But
I
yeah, you kind of
isn't
go
that
through
kinda
different periods.
kind of weird? I mean, when something like this happens to someone else, we listen to their story and we go, "Oh, wow, that's fascinating." When something weird happens to us, very first thing we do is we try to think of, well, what could it be? What's the logical thing here? What we do that to ourselves, even without just believing us, believing ourselves.
That's
With
so
thing,
true too. That is so true. I said
the,
there's probably no one who's more skeptical about all of the stuff than me, and when it comes to my own stuff. Oh yeah, it's so
I'm more
true.
skeptical than anyone. And standing there looking in the woods and seeing that shape, my mind later was like, well, it's got to be a guy in a ghillie suit because it can't be Bigfoot. And yet at the same time, I'm like, well, what are the odds that there was a guy in a ghillie suit there?
Yeah, like what are the
It probably was.
chances? I've come to the conclusion there are no real coincidences. And this
Yeah.
and that being said is kind of even scarier. But it really, there are, when it comes to coincidences, I find very few in this. I have very few.
Yeah.
And
There's no
it's
such thing as a coincidence.
yeah, that was my take on it. But then it's like, okay, now if I have to say that, well, maybe just this one time, Jay, there's a coincidence, right? When it comes to yourself, I think it almost like, man, I couldn't, it was
Well,
so outside of anything that I knew or recognized when this all started happening. I didn't know what the hell to do.
yeah,
I was
you
like,
see this thing crawl into your
right,
bedroom, and
yeah.
then
No, what the hell who do you
it shows up
call?
on your fingers. a week or so later, and a week or so after that, you got something showing up on your chest.
Yeah.
You kind of can't help but reach a point where these three weird things are connected to each other.
It's
Gotta be a thing there.
painful to say, but you're right. You are so
Yeah.
right. I found that picture. I'm gonna pull it up and show you.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah, just to see what you. I tell you the. Here it is, the notorious. I can see it. I almost like avoid. I say sometimes you can't avoid everything. You really can't. But if there were a topic that made me just a little cringeworthy on this whole thing, this is where you're gonna I'm gonna find it, because it is a very uncomfortable to think, oh my God, like what. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I have to pull it up here on a different account. But I anybody else have any markings that feel this way? Because I tell you, it's almost excruciating sometimes, that cringeworthy. But two, in the experiences, I wish Andrew Rollins was here in the chat. He was one of the first people I came in contact with when I had experiences, and we had like this little support group. We all knew like a couple days after, there's a real withdrawn, like you had to digest it for yourself. You couldn't just make sense out of it. So then once you kind of came around, got through it, it was fine. But there's a couple days after when those kind of experiences would happen, where it kind of shook your core, is what I feel like the best way
Yeah.
to describe it. But I'm gonna
Yeah.
pull this up now for you. I need to show you.
Is this the star map on your
This
leg?
is the star map on my leg. I wish my son were here. He would get on here and talk. So this is what the
Ooh.
pictures of the Pleiadians are, what somebody sent me after. You can see the drawing. I'm going to move down and scroll down. I just had to make sure it's pulled up. My drawings, I draw like a little kid, maybe. Oops. Getting too out of control here. Okay, so I drew this. I saw it. What the story behind it was, there was like a bunch of UFOs. I literally thought we were like being invaded. But if you look at this one, it's a different angle. You can match it up. If you flip up the, I'll kind of like scroll this, and now it looks ridiculous. Now I realize that, but you probably wouldn't understand it, but it was significant enough on something that I saw. It was significant enough where I was like, I know what that is. That's that stinking map that I literally thought we were being invaded. There were so many of them that came through. So, I mean, you can see right here, if you match it up, and you can match it up. And I'm like, so then somebody sent me, and they didn't know either, it was on YouTube. So these are just some more like variations of it.
So the spots, are they like insect bites, or are they
No.
burns, or did you determine
Neither.
what-
It healed really quick. I kind
Yeah.
of took some pictures I was going to see. I might not have included them, but they healed and went away super quick. I would say within a day or two. And I thought the same thing. It looked like, if I had to describe it, if anything, it looked like I sat on an iron. Like that's what it looked like. But there was nothing. I would not have even known that those were there if my son had not said something to me, and we were like,
Right.
we're getting
It's
out of here. We're
not-
going to a hotel. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's not like bars or lines, or like you sat on something that,
No.
it's all just dots.
And it was summertime, so it was July when it happened. So I was wearing shorts, so it's not like, you couldn't see it.
Did it itch? Did it
Mm-mm.
hurt or anything like that?
No.
How did you become aware that he was even there?
That's when my son, when I got up in the morning, I had gone into his room and he saw it on the back of my leg. He's like, you got something on the back of your leg.
Ah. And you didn't know.
And I'm like, what are you talking about, Brody? And I literally, I could like reach behind, I felt it, and I was like, what is that? That's kind of weird. But like I said, I during the summer, I live out of shorts, so he would have noticed it far before then. But I went to the bathroom, that's when I saw it, looked, and I was like up on a chair, and I was like, what is that? And I was like, that's that dang star map. And I pulled out all the notebooks, and I started going through, rifling through. But that's what hit me. Like, why would I even remember drawing that star map? So I figured maybe this is like something to maybe get me on course, or some sort of validation, or just wanting to creep me out. I don't know.
Or it had some meaning.
Yeah, some meaning.
You'd seen the star map, and so then it shows up as, yes, this, you did in fact see this, and here it is on your body now,
Yeah. Now, what do you do with that? Unless, like I said, I think that's probably, but in those moments, it kind of jolts you in a different course or a different set of mind. Like maybe I don't exactly remember where I was at with this whole process back then, but it was all pretty fresh and newer because I didn't I grew up in the paranormal, saw spirits since I was a kid, but I did not encounter ET until 2017.
Oh yeah, yeah. I when I was just starting out in radio in 1979, 1980, I had a roommate, moved out of the house, and he was Wiccan. He was very much into witchcraft, and I wasn't, but he was. But it was the first time I'd seen ghosts, and it was really weird because getting to see something like that. I was 18, 19 years old, and he come in the room one day, and he had potions. He would go and buy these potions and things, which I wasn't into. I didn't know what all he bought, but it would be like Eye of Newt or whatever. I'm just saying.
So
And
he was witchcraft or
yeah,
Wiccan
he
or
would do these potions, and he came down one day and he goes, come here, I want to show you something. And I was like, what? And he goes, I'm growing a third tooth.
was he?
And I remembered when
Oh
he
god.
lost his tooth, and of course he's an adult, he's not a kid. So once you lose that tooth, that's it. You don't get another one. And he showed me where he was growing a third tooth.
Did it come
Yeah.
down all the way in?
It completely, the whole time that he was my roommate, he would complain sometimes, man, it hurts, when it would grow, but
That's the
after
weirdest
a
thing
few
ever.
weeks, he had a full tooth there, and it was
Shut
crazy.
up.
But
Whoa.
I came home. I worked at the radio station, and we got off the air at midnight, and I came home one night and realized he had a buddy of his there that was also a witch. These are guys, but guys are witches too, not just women.
Not all,
Yeah,
yeah,
opened
which
the
is
door, and they were hunched down in the living room, and they looked up and they looked at me. They were like, "Oh, okay," but they were doing some kind of an incantation. So as I'm looking at them sitting in the living room floor, there's candles and
oh
such.
god.
I looked up and I could see from the front door into the kitchen through the door to the kitchen.
Do you have a big
As I'm looking,
cauldron? No.
yeah, well, they didn't have cauldron, but they were doing some
Just
kind of witchy thing. So I look into the kitchen, and in the kitchen are these two ghostly girls, and they're throwing like an invisible ball to each other. So I could see one
oh
catch
boy.
the ball and toss it back, and the other one would catch the ball and toss it back. And they were spectral. They were white. They were glowing. They were
You mean like
these.
were they there? Were they not
They
there? Were
were
they
they were not
summoned?
there. They were
Oh, and I was like, what in
ghostly.
the
They were
world are
ghosts,
they
and
doing?
they were
Yeah.
throwing what the motions of throwing a
Oh,
ball to each other, but there was no ball. You could see no ball. You just see them
wow.
doing this
So they summoned
motion.
something you could actually see in the here and now.
Yeah, I'm staring
Oh
into the
my god.
kitchen and I'm watching these two girls throw this imaginary ball at each other, and I'm looking at them, and they're looking at me. They're not even looking at it, and I'm like, "You see
Nobody's
what
gonna
I
believe this.
see?" And
Yeah.
they're like, "No." And I'm telling them they're standing right there. And they got all excited, even though they couldn't see it. Whatever they had been doing, apparently it made sense because they're like, we made that happen. We made that happen. And I was like, but only he can see it. And I'm like, you guys are weird.
Have you seen spirits? Did you grow up like
Oh,
that or
I've seen stuff. Yeah.
oh, yeah, because
Another thing
usually
is this
experience your
house we
time.
lived in. This house we lived in. There was a staircase to the upstairs where our bedrooms were, and then the downstairs where the kitchen and the living room were. And we'd be sitting there. We were sitting there in the living room one day, and whenever you would come down the stairs, it made a certain kind of a bouncy, popping sound. Boop, 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 boop,
Mhm.
boop, boop. And then you were on that final step that you could see from the living room into the kitchen. Because it was in between. And one day we're sitting there, and we started hearing boom, 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 boom,
Oh,
boom, boom,
boy.
So, and both of us naturally turned to that bottom step, which you could see from the living room, because we expected to see feet, hit that bottom step and go into the kitchen. Somebody was upstairs, and we heard this boop, 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 but nothing. There was nothing there. And he was like, oh my God. And I'm like, that was weird. That was strange. And it was loud. I mean, it wasn't like soft. It was the way it would sound if one of us was coming down the stairs.
Down the stairs, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm a pretty heavy guy. He was a pretty heavy guy. And we made
Oh, wow.
noise when we went up and down those stairs. So we heard it just pop, 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 pop.
I think a lot of times they mimic, like,
Mhm.
what I found, like, I remember one time I was at a haunted house. I was the only one. It's like a haunted manor, and I picked up a ball and it was like boom, 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 and of course I'm the only one in there sitting in there waiting, and I can hear all of a sudden I hear it out there with the same ball I must have left out there, boom, 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 the same type of pattern. And then there was a time like I had a penny and I was like, whoosh, I don't know what I was doing. I was kind of bored waiting there, but I was making like a little figure eight with the penny and the swishing, and and this is over at what was allegedly the safe house. And all of a sudden, I'm like, wakes me up at like, because you hardly sleep when you're on paranormal stuff. But I hear the same whoosh, whoosh, whoosh with that penny going out there. And I was like, and nobody was
Yeah.
out there. I was like, man.
Well, this was a townhouse, and our bedrooms were upstairs. There was a bathroom up there, I believe, and then downstairs was the kitchen and the living room, and then this staircase in between that went from downstairs to upstairs.
Oh,
So
cool.
we're both in our bedrooms at night. He's in his, and I'm in mine, and we could yell at each other because we weren't that far apart.
And they
And
can with a
suddenly we
string.
heard boom hit the side of the house on the
Oh,
upper level, not the below, on the upper level. And I woke up,
saying
and of course
hello.
he woke up, and then we hear boop, 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 and it went all the way around the house. There's no way, even with a ladder, you could have got it. And it
They're
went boop, 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 boop,
notorious for
boop.
stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it went all the way around the house and stopped at where it had started. And I'm sitting in my bedroom, and he's, of course, in his, and he yells out, Michael. And I went, yeah, Brian. He goes, did you hear that? And I was like, oh, yeah, I heard that. And both of us met each other in the hall. We were like, there is no way anyone could get up here and go all the way around the house. I mean, you could come up on a corner maybe and make a noise, but
Sure.
there's no way you could go all the way around the upper floor without a crane or something like that.
Right. Right.
Yeah, we were like, oh my God, that is so weird. Both of us, I think, probably were up for another hour or two. After that, wouldn't go to
Like,
sleep.
they're coming for us, or what's out. When stuff like that goes, especially they're going around you like that, I almost feel like
I'm gonna tell you
they're
that.
hunting you.
I know. Can I tell you another Brian story?
Yes.
Brian was. I worked at the radio. We both worked at the same radio station. That's why we were roommates. And one night I'm on the air, and I'm doing my thing with the microphone and all like that. And I turn the microphone off, and Brian comes walking into the control room. He is white as a sheet. He is as white as this screen right here. But, I mean, I'm looking at him like, Brian, are you okay? And then his girlfriend came in. She is white as a sheet. And I'm like, are you okay? And he's like, we awaken a demon.
Oh my God.
Something up. And I'm like, what? He goes, we woke something up. And I'm like, okay, tell me about it, whatever.
He's
And
not
his
cut out for this
girlfriend
witch in Disney.
yeah, and he was like, apparently they were doing a Ouija board, and whatever it was, they visually saw it jump out of the board into his girlfriend,
Oh,
who
even better.
was,
Get the hell out of there. Yeah.
I know, who
Oh
was
my
like
God.
messed up for apparently a good 10 minutes or so.
Well, I
And then
bet.
he was able to do something. I don't
Where
know.
did it go afterwards?
I
That's
know,
what I'm
to
like.
get it out. And they got in the vehicle and they came to the radio station. And
Okay, dude.
I'm
You're probably
like,
like, "Go anywhere else
dude,
but here."
I
Yeah.
know.
Where's this thing at?
I'm like the kind of guy that I'm like, I don't know how to explain this. I have always known my entire life I am protected. Nothing like that can bother me. Nothing can get me. It can't. And so I'm not worried about it. But
No, yeah,
he
I got you.
is terrified. And he's like, we gotta find a priest. And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I don't even know. I think
Get the
the
holy
town we
water
live
and
in has one
crucifixes out,
Catholic
yeah.
church, like that. And so he convinced himself that this Baptist minister he knew could help
Okay.
with something because this was even out of his wheelhouse, not being possessed by
I
something.
had a haunted box, so I can't even I know their
Yeah.
capabilities.
So
It's scary, yeah.
he and his girlfriend leave, and then later on, I'm off the air, and I shut the transmitters down and closed up the radio station and went home. And they come walking in, and apparently they had been over at this pastor's house who prayed and prayed, and he didn't even believe any of this. But I'm like, well, apparently it worked because she did, and they're okay. And that night he was telling me that they were playing with the Ouija board and it was talking to them. I mean, something was talking to them. And it said that it was the devil, which, I don't know if it was or not, but whatever it was jumps out of the board and they physically saw
Oh god.
like something misty come out of that board and hit her. And she went back, according to him.
Man.
And then she didn't remember even going to the radio station until after this pastor preached over her and prayed over her and all like that. She come out of it. But even he did something he thought he got it out of her, but apparently not because she didn't remember anything until she woke up at the pastor's house where he knew this guy from somewhere. And the guy
Oh.
tried to help, but he was like, it's not in my will box. I'm not Catholic, so I don't do
We're not
exercise.
trained in
But
this.
yeah, but I mean, he did pray with her and all like that, and that apparently worked.
Well,
It
that's
helped.
good. Yeah,
But I'm
that's
sitting
good.
there looking at Brian, going like, dude, you invited this. You made this happen. You opened that door and let it in.
Yeah, you're kind of summoning them, Brian.
I
What the hell are you
know.
doing here, buddy? Yeah.
I know you didn't learn your lesson. You were like, I'm going to be right back into this tomorrow, and I'm like, dude. I
No,
mean, that
don't
was a
throw
wake
away the
up
Ouija
call.
board just yet. Yeah, I'm not
Yeah,
quite
that
ready to
was
be
your
done with
wake up
it.
call, and you should have
It should have been the wake
listened.
up call. Yeah, maybe he needed more to grow more teeth. That's the only thing I can
I don't know, but
say.
he was always messing with something. There was
Is
a place
Brian still around? Can we talk to Brian?
I think he's still around.
We should track Brian down. I've got to know what he's doing these days.
I would love to track him down because he moved to Biloxi, and then I didn't hear from him after that. We were roommates in 80, 81, like that. So I don't know
Oh
where he's
man.
at now.
Well, Jay, I don't want to cut you off, and the chat's gonna give me shit on this one. I can put out a ton of clips if we keep this under 2 hours, and we're coming down in 2 minutes. But I want to invite you back. I would love
Sure.
to. Do you want to do a part? I don't know what your next week looks like, but I would love to have you back and continue this. And we got to find Brian. We got to see if we can track down Brian.
I
So
don't know. I haven't been able to track down Brian,
where
but
there's a will, there's a way. We got to.
that would be
If
great.
there's anybody I've been curious about right now, it's Brian. So
Yeah.
you tell him that we want to know. But in closing, in the last 90 seconds here, I always ask our guests to leave the audience with something. And I'm wondering what you would like to leave the audience with.
Watch my show.
Watch his show.
Watch
That's
my
yes.
show. I'm sure there's a link around here somewhere or in that link tree. But yeah, watch my show and give me
In the
some numbers.
description, yes, it's under, and you'll see it. It's under the J. Michael Show. It's on YouTube. He's on, some of the major streaming platforms. But YouTube, just go to his YouTube. Yeah, our group would be good with that. But so yes, Jay, and then in closing, right after this, I'll go ahead and I'll schedule you for a second. We'll get you in for
Sure.
round 2. So I
Yeah.
want to thank you so much. It's been such an awesome, getting to know you over on MK Invasion and having you over here, and we just love you over here. So thank you
I love
again.
talking to you.
I know. I sit here. I'm like, did the time really fly this fast? And to the audience, we are going to see. We'll be back tomorrow with Aggie Noss at 5 p.m. And if I don't end this, we're going to lose these clips. And I want to get those clips out on you. So thank you for taking the journey into the unknown. I'm Coley, and this is Jay. He's going to be back for part 2, and we'll see you soon.
Okay, bye.
Bye.